Jin cries for Jungkook. But where was Taehyung? The hidden rift that could break BTS apart August 2025 has brought more than just anticipation for BTS's long-awaited reunion. It has brought raw emotion, visible cracks, and an alarming silence. In a moment that took over the internet in under 6 hours, a video of Jin, BTS's eldest and heart of the group, watching a clip of Jungkook brought fans to tears. But it wasn't just Jin who was moved. It was the absence of one man, Taehyung, also known as V, that truly rattled the fandom. Why wasn't he there? Why didn't he react? And is this the first visible fracture in the Bulletproof Brotherhood? The viral moment began innocently. A heartwarming segment aired on Jin's variety series, Run Jin, where he sat down to reflect on his years in BTS, including a never-before-seen clip of Jungkook from their trainee days. As the video played, Jin's eyes welled up. His shoulders shook, and the cameras didn't cut away. It was raw. It was real. It was Jin at his most vulnerable, publicly showing love for the youngest member he helped raise. Jungkook, often seen as the golden magne, had always looked up to Jin like an older brother, a protector, and a guiding light through fame's cruel spotlight. But the moment was incomplete. The flood of fan reactions should have been joined by one from Taehyung. And yet, silence. No post. No comment.
No mention. No trace.
While Seokjin broke the internet with his tears, Taehyung vanished into it. Where was he? At first, fans dismissed it. Perhaps he hadn't seen the episode yet. Maybe he was traveling. But then time passed. Hours turned into a day. A day turned into 2. And still nothing. Not even a like. Not a repost. Not even a cryptic story. For someone known for his poetic, sentimental Instagram captions and deeply emotional connection to the group, Taehyung's silence felt like a scream. And that's when the theories exploded. Some say it was intentional. Others call it a quiet protest. A few even suggest Taehyung didn't agree with how the footage was edited. But the most chilling theory yet? That the bond once so famously shared between Taehyung and Jungkook, the one army lovingly named Taehyung, has fractured beyond repair, and Jin's emotional breakdown was not just a personal moment, but a goodbye. Could that be true? Let's rewind the clock. 2022, the Festa dinner. The moment BTS announced their hiatus, tension was already in the air. Taehyung, seated at the far end, spoke less than usual. His words were cautious, his smile tight. Jungkook, meanwhile, appeared pained, torn. Back then, fans speculated something had shifted. The closeness, the lingering glances, the playful touches that had once fueled millions of fan edits were gone. And now, 2 years later, we're left wondering if that distance became permanent. When Jin, a member known for unity, for always being the peacemaker, chose to air a moment featuring only him and Jungkook. Was that a coincidence? Or was it a final attempt to hold on to a fading connection? Jin's tears weren't performative. They weren't exaggerated. This wasn't a scripted moment designed for variety ratings. He broke down mid-sentence. He whispered Jungkook's name with the gentleness of a hyung holding back a storm of regret. And when the camera cut to black, viewers were left breathless. But some weren't just breathless. They were confused. Where is Taehyung? One fan posted. The comment received 80,000 likes in under an hour. It wasn't a complaint. It was a cry. Then came the bombshell that on the same day the episode aired, Taehyung was spotted at a jazz bar in LA, smiling, dancing, and surrounded by unfamiliar faces. No trace of his members. No mention of the show. Not even a repost from Big Hit. Fans were stunned. Was this his way of distancing himself from BTS content entirely? Adding to the mystery was a cryptic caption Taehyung posted later that night. Not everything deserves a response. The photo? A shadowy mirror selfie. No face.
No BTS.
Just darkness and silence. That was enough to ignite a digital wildfire. Was that aimed at Jin, or Jungkook, or the fandom? Was Taehyung trying to say that not every memory is meant to be revisited, or that some relationships are better left untouched? The Taehyung ship, once the strongest, had already been sailing troubled waters. For years, fans debated the nature of their bond. Were they soulmates, as Taehyung once whispered in a behind-the-scenes clip? Or just two artists forced to grow in different directions? The Run Jin episode seemed to answer one part of that question. Jin and Jungkook still had that unbreakable thread. But Taehyung? He didn't even hold the needle. What fans noticed next was even more startling. In a recent TikTok by a staff member from Jin's solo tour, there was mention that Jin personally selected the clip of him and Jungkook to air in the episode. Out of dozens, he chose that moment. He wanted to showcase it. Which brings the question, did Jin deliberately exclude Taehyung? And if he did, why? Could it be that the emotional breakdown wasn't about nostalgia, but regret? Regret over how the group's internal relationships may have quietly decayed during their years apart. Then came the biggest twist yet. Army detectives discovered that Taehyung had, in fact, viewed the Run Jin episode within 24 hours of its release. A fan-run analytics account tracked his online activity, showing he opened weverse that night and watched at least one segment. If he saw it, why didn't he say anything? Was it too painful? Or was he simply done playing the BTS brotherhood narrative? In past interviews, Taehyung often hinted at being misunderstood, at fighting battles the public never sees. Perhaps this was one of them. Perhaps Jin's emotional openness felt like betrayal, or worse, manipulation. Some fans believe Taehyung's silence was a form of protest against what he perceived as curated sentimentality. Meanwhile, Jungkook's response, or lack thereof, has only added fuel to the fire. He posted a brief thank you to Jin in his Instagram story, along with a heart emoji. But no words.
No caption. No elaboración.
It felt restrained, muted, as if he didn't know how to respond to being emotionally honored on screen, without the others present. Could this be a sign that Jungkook himself feels caught between loyalty to Jin and unresolved tension with Taehyung? And then, in a moment fans are still trying to decode, Taehyung unfollowed a fan account known for posting Taekook edits. It happened hours after Jin's episode aired. The message felt clear. That chapter is over, or is it? Because just days later, fans found an old draft from Taehyung's unreleased photo book. The working title? The Distance Between Us. The subtitle? Not All Stars Align Forever. Those drafts, leaked by a styling assistant, are now going viral. Was he writing about Jungkook? About BTS? About a friendship that faded? One thing is certain. Something is off. BTS gears up for a full group comeback in December 2025. Fans are watching closely, not just for music, but for body language. Will Taehyung stand next to Jungkook at the press conference? Will he share a mic with Jin? Or will he drift further into solo silence, letting his absence speak louder than any interview ever could? The brotherhood of BTS has been the foundation of their global success. But what happens when cracks form in the foundation? What happens when tears from one member are met with silence from another? What happens when Jin cries for Jungkook, but Taehyung doesn't show up? This story is still unfolding. But for the first time in years, the words BTS and fracture are trending together. And fans around the world are left asking the same question. Is this the emotional storm before the final sunrise, or the quiet unraveling of a bond we all believed was unbreakable?